All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Accelerated UMP Modified Series presented by WR1 Chassis, live here on the Accelerated Facebook page. We are here for race number 10 at the Knoxville Raceway, and joining me tonight in the booth, a special guest, real-life announcer as well, Tommy Rowe. How you doing tonight, bud?
Man, I'm doing great. It's good to finally be up here for, I think this is my first race of the season, Nicole. Looking forward to it.
Well, it's been an eventful season so far. 9 races down, 3 to run, including tonight's festivities. We got heat racing coming up, but first we have to qualify the field. At my last count, we have 32 drivers out here that are going to be able to take a time. A couple of people accidentally got into the server as a driver when they're not supposed to be. An admin included in that one, so
I'm sorry.
Only 32 drivers out here this evening. And we're going to get set for our feature race later on tonight. And Tommy, we're back here at Knoxville with the UMP Modifieds. I heard last night was a pretty great show. What do you think? What do you think's going to happen tonight?
Man, there's no telling what could happen tonight. You know, the way the track changes, it should be a very exciting race. You know, passes all around, high side, low side. Last night was very exciting. Lots of 3-4 wide racing. I look to see the same tonight.
Awesome, as we do, and I'm sure you, the fans out there on the Facebook, do as well. Practice is going to wrap up here in a couple of seconds, and move on to our qualifying. As always, 2 hot laps for these drivers to put down as fast a time as they possibly can. Looking at the point standings coming into tonight, though, Howard Weaver up by 4 points over Dylan Wilson. That's the 07 and the 80 cars, respectively, as long as they got their numbers in here. Howard with just a little bit better average finish than Wilson. Howard's running a 5.56, Wilson at a 6.11. Virgil Graham is all but eliminated from the points picture right now. He's going to have a good night and hope that Weaver and Wilson have terrible evenings out here tonight as we go into our qualifying session, looking for our first car to get out onto the track. It looks like the 84 Clay Debin rolling out.
Yeah, Clay Debin was your fastest in practice with a 1945. Let's see how he does this time.
Going on board as he comes out of turn 4 to take the green flag for his first hot lap. He's had some good runs as of late, just not a lot of luck in that 84 car. Seen him involved in a couple incidents later on in the features, but he has been a consistent name in all of the features, as he's just going to go ahead and tank that real quick. Guess he didn't like the way it looked, so going to come up to Jacob Fields in the, where did he go? Double 007, excuse me. Oh, jeez, come on now. There he is, coming out of turn 4 to start his hot lap session all the way to the top of the groove. He puts that UMP modified in out of turn number 2, heading down the backstretch now. Looking pretty sharp right now. Dylan Wilson on top of the leaderboard with a 19.851 after he put down his first lap. So let's see where Fields ends up getting. He was just about a 10th off in practice, now running a 20.235, so he's got a lot of ground to make up here.
Yeah, this racetrack's really slicked off. Almost a half second between lap times right here. Dylan Wilson, 1949 in practice is 19.851 now, almost a half second slower.
Definitely loaded up. Update on Fields. Just outside of the top 10 is over half of our field has qualified so far. Still Dylan Wilson on top of the board. Jacob Leverstein and Randall Carter, your top 3. As we still have a couple of big names yet to hit the track.
Yeah, we're still waiting on the likes of Howard Weaver and Jeremy Capon. Just a few to make the time.
And Virgil Graham now out onto the racing surface. Everybody working that high line so far in qualifying that we've been watching. So takes the green flag here for lap number 1. This half mile here in Knoxville. I mean, we're running 22nd lap times just about. Still no change in the top 3, but Capron has got up into the 4th position with a 19.90. So we're looking at about our top 10 running into 19.9s or 19.8s so far. Virgil Graham, add his name to the list as well. He's going to be the slowest out of our 19.9 guys. And speak of the devil, and you shall receive the 07 car. Howard Weaver out on the track, finishing up his qualifying efforts. Going to put him at 6th on the leaderboard, right behind teammate Jeremy Capron. So Dylan Wilson looks to pretty much have this all but wrapped up. Once these cars goes off the track, everybody has taken in qualifying time. So Dylan Wilson out on top of the charts. Howard Weaver's second lap slower than his first, so that's going to put him 6th on the qualifying grid. It looks like Dylan Wilson's going to be quick time winner here at Knoxville.
Dylan Wilson, your current points, second in points. That's a good way to start the night. Only 4 points back of Howard Weaver, your points leader.
It's going to be interesting to see those two drivers make it up through the field. It looks like right now we're going to have 4 heats as iRacing has it set up in our little cheat box we got. Top three will make it to the feature, an invert of 4. I'm going to put Dylan Wilson starting out of position number 4 in heat number 1, Leverstein in heat number 2, Carter in heat number 3, and Lucas Chowning in 4th in heat number 4. And then, of course, we will probably have a C main and a B main tonight, and then we will get to our feature race tonight. So, looking forward to seeing how the evening progresses with this track here. It's, like Tommy said earlier, it's really slicked off a lot, and hopefully that provides for some multi-groove racing here later on.
Not sure what the holdup. I hope they're not waiting on me to qualify out there.
There to go. Just advanced the session. Heat number 1 taken to the grid here in the pit lane. And we'll give you a rundown as soon as a couple more people get out here to the starting grid. So we're pretty much missing the whole front row now.
A lot of fast race cars in this first heat race. Should be exciting to watch.
You got Virgil Graham going to be starting on the pole here. Garrett Newberry going to be rolling off in second in that number 19 car. Row number 2 is going to have the 10 of Jeremy Capron and the 80 of Dylan Wilson, who is vying for that points championship with battling with Howard Weaver. Rocky Battenfield, the 097, going to start out of position number 5. And to his outside, going to be the 99 of Dennis Potridge Jr. The 22 of Drew Phillips going to start out of the 7th position. Good Lord. 21 going to be the 21. 8th going to be the 21 of Benjamin Nading. And rounding out our field is, if he is still out here, which it does look like he is in here, is going to be the 522 of Caleb Sexton. We're still missing a couple, or one more driver. It doesn't look like Dennis Potridge Jr. has got out here to the grid yet. So maybe he's, at the concession stand real quick, trying to get him a hot dog or something. And as always, all of the heat races is going to be 10 laps long. And at 2 parade laps, and then we'll unleash these drivers for the start of tonight's racing. And it looks like Potridge Jr. is not going to be able to get out to the grid, so Benjamin Nading going to start out of the 6th position by default, as the pace truck is now rolling out of pit lane, and we have cars on the track.
Yeah, it's a tough break for Dennis in the 99 car, but should be an exciting race. A lot of fast drivers here. 10 laps to distance. Only the top 3 advance. Gonna be a fight.
It sure is. Definitely keep your eye out on that second row, though. After the invert, those two are the fastest technically in the field. Dylan Wilson, of course, fastest out of the qualifiers tonight. Capron, you can never count him out either. He's had a string of bad luck here with some internet issues and getting caught up in a couple of wrecks as of the last couple of weeks, but you can't really count out anybody in this heat.
One more time around here for the race truck.
Virgil Graham going to have command of the field in that black, white, and blue 42. The black and highlighter yellow 19 of Newbergy going to be starting on his outside. Pace truck is off. Graham wastes no time getting on the gas pedal. Green flag is out for heat number 1, and Capron already side by side with the 19 as they dive into turn number 1. The battle on for second position. Capron on that bottom. He's going to lose a little bit of momentum. Here comes Dylan Wilson driving on the high side. Gets into the wall a little bit. Actually climbs what looks to be a mountain as you get into turn number 3. But Dylan Wilson now stuck to the back bumper of that 10 car of Jeremy Capron.
Yeah, Virgil Graham's got to be loving what he's seeing in his mirror right now as they're side by side. But as I say that, the 19 pulls to the side of the 42.
He doesn't get a great run there. He's running that middle line in the slick. Graham, Capron, and Wilson all in the tacky stuff. Newbergy from 2nd to 4th. Loses 2 spots on that exchange in 3 and 4. Now he's battling back towards the inside of that 80 car of Wilson. Now going to have to tuck in behind him as Wilson now gets up into that 3rd and final transfer spot.
Virgil Graham still holding on to the race lead, and they're pretty much single file right now throughout the entire racetrack.
And pretty much a one groove occasion here. Wilson peeking to the inside of Capron. He's not satisfied with 3rd. He wants to get up there towards the front, try and retain his pole starting position. If he can finish in 1st, that's where he will start in the feature later on tonight. Now taking it all the way to the bottom of the racetrack to the inside of Capron as they come out of turn number 2. Capron going to have the momentum on the high side and retain that 2nd place.
Dylan Wilson's got to be thinking big picture, better starting spot, better chance at a higher finish, and better points he can make on Howard Weaver.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, this late in the season and with the points battle being so close, he's definitely got to be racing for the bigger picture. He's had a week or two where he's gotten into some incidents, but for the most part, he's been pretty consistent as of on the whole season. So just past halfway, starting lap 7, we got 4 laps left to run here. We almost have a 3-wide battle for the race lead.
3-wide battle. 10 car trying to pull into the inside of the 42, and Wilson right there in the 3rd spot. Great racing right here up front.
About the most exciting battle on the track. Everybody's pretty much single file behind him. Newbergy losing touch with his top 3, but with 3 laps to go, Virgil Graham looking to take home another heat win on the season. But he's going to have to hold off a hard charging Wilson and Capron. Capron still on that top side, following in the tire tracks of that 42. Wilson trying to make the slick work. Just loses a lot of time on the bottom of the racetrack. Now he's going to sling that right rear up towards the cushion here. And he still loses a little bit of time. About a car length separates that 10 and an 80 car. The battle is on for the race lead.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Come around here to the white flag one more time around. It'll be interesting to see if anybody tries to make a big dive-bomb move for the win.
There goes
Here they go,
Wilson.
3 wide here in the 2nd spot, or turn number 2.
Yeah, Wilson tried to dive it in there. He's going to have to regroup. One final assault. He's going to sling it down there. Capron's going to block the slide job line. Virgil Graham, all he's got to do is get a good drive off the corner. Oh, Capron and Wilson, they touch coming out of 4. It's going to be Graham at the line. Capron and Wilson, your top 3 finishers and transfers to the A feature later on tonight. Garrett Newbergy, Benjamin Nading. Come back here. Rocky Battenfield, Drew Phillips, and Caleb Sexton going to be the remaining finishers out on the track. Dennis Potridge Jr. unfortunately had a little bit of connection issue, and he is going to have to make his way in the hard way, racing through the C and B later on tonight. Heat number 2, getting ready to take grid on the pit lane. Excuse me.
Yeah, what an excellent race that heat number 1 was. And here we go. We got Howard Weaver, Jacob Leverstein on the second row of this one. Should be another exciting heat race if heat number 1 was any indication.
Yeah, John Literal, though, he's going to get the perks of the invert. Going to start on the pole here. Trevor Fitz in the 28 car going to be to his outside in row number 1. Howard Weaver going to be starting out of position number 3. And Jacob Leverstein going to be rolling out of the 4th position. Second quickest in qualifying tonight. The 00 of Kendall Tucker going to start out of 5th. And to his outside is going to be the 007 of Jacob Fields. Kyle Morris going to round out our 7-car field for heat number 2. Looks like DJ Kilinowski missed the grid. Actually, I don't even think he's in the server. No, he's not even in the server. So, and of course, that's 9th place. Doesn't even matter.
Ten more laps to distance. Top 3 transfer. See what happens.
Hopefully, they start to wear out that high groove. Pretty sure by the time we get to C and B main action, the top groove is going to be all tore up from the floor up. Hopefully, that will promote some 2-lane racing. We saw a lot of follow the leader here in heat number 1. A couple of guys tried to make a move, but to no avail. Let's see if it's the same song and dance here in heat number 2. Green flag is out. John Literal leads him to the green flag. Fitz was not caught sleeping. He's going to go to the high side and get around Literal as Weaver goes up the track. Leverstein and the 00 end up getting it into a little bit of contact there as Fitz is trying to take this race lead here in turn 3.
Yeah, Trevor Fitz going to take over the race lead. Howard Weaver trying to find the door to open. Here comes Leverstein on the inside of Weaver for the 3rd spot.
There goes Leverstein all the way from the bottom, slides up to the middle lane of the track. Him and Weaver still side by side coming out of turn number 2. Leverstein has the advantage into 3. He's going to send it in there. Literal still a little loose on that top side, holding up that 07 of Howard Weaver as of right now. Leverstein going to get around and puts the slider on Literal into 1.
Weaver can't find a door that's open, and here come the 4th and 5th place drivers. They make contact with Weaver going down the back straightaway. The 07 and 00, Kendall Tucker and Jacob Fields.
Yeah, Fields just about had a field day with that 07, about turned him into the inside of the racetrack. Now Weaver all the way shuffled back into the 5th spot as Tucker gets around the outside. Going to try to shoot the gap there. He's to the inside of Literal now. Going to put the slider on that 68 car, put the 00 in the show in 3rd.
Yeah, the top 2 have broken away from the field, but the battle is on right now for that 3rd and final transfer spot. We got 3 or 4 cars right there all together.
A pretty competitive heat so far. Literal falling all the way back after starting on the pole for this heat race. Fields now to the inside of the 07 of Howard Weaver as the battle is raging for the race lead. Leverstein is to the inside of the 28 of Fitz. Leverstein going to put the slide job on the 28. Battle is on for the race lead. Fitz tries to cross him over out of 2, but is not going to have the momentum to do it. He's going to trade sliders with him into 3.
Yeah, back and forth sliders we go. It looks like Leverstein might have the advantage going down the back straightaway.
It sure does. Has the race lead at the line. 28 is going to try once more. Hits the berm on the inside. Slides up in front of Leverstein. Scrubs off a ton of speed. And Leverstein gets right back around him and puts about a 2-car length advantage on that 28 car as they went into turn 3 that time. This time at the line. 3 laps to go.
Yeah, Leverstein looks like he's going to stretch out his lead just a little bit.
Yeah, and stretch it out indeed. Fitz falling back to the clutches of Kendall Tucker right now as Tucker is trying to keep that 00 in that 3rd place, get an automatic transfer into the big show later on. Howard Weaver trying to catch up to Kendall Tucker. He's only got 2 more laps to do so. He's to the inside of the 00 as Tucker ended up hopping the cushion a little bit in turns 1 and 2. Now back into 3 and 4. The battle goes. Fitz is falling back to the clutches of the 00. It's going to be a pretty exciting finish here.
Yeah, we're coming around to the white flag right now. Weaver's got 1 more shot to try to get around Tucker, and Tucker's on the inside of Literal for the 2nd spot. This is going to be a battle right here on the back straightaway.
Yeah, Weaver ended up getting into the back of Kendall Tucker. Last chance for him to get around the 00. Not going to be able to do it. Leverstein's going to win the race. Fitz and Tucker advance 2. Oh, my goodness gracious. That was a moonshot there. Tucker.
That was... that looked like it hurt a little bit.
It sure did. They advanced to the feature. Weaver, Fields, Morris, Literal, your top 7 finishers on the evening. And now heat number 3 coming up in just a few moments. Pretty clean racing there throughout that heat grid for heat number 3. Now on the left side of your screen, Jason Minat, the 17 car, the banana boat as I affectionately call him, going to start on the pole. David Heileman in the 24 going to start to his outside in row number 1. Clay Devin, the 84 car, going to start out of the 3rd position, and Randall Carter going to start out of position number 4. Cody Olson is going to roll out of 5th, and Tommy Dutcher going to be to his outside. And then in row 4, we have Dalton Connor and Dylan Conrad making up our 8-car field for heat number 3. And so far, so good. Little bit of contact between a couple of cars in heat number 2 just means that outside lane starting to wear out, and now the track's starting to even itself out as well. The high side still the dominant factor right now, but still have a lot of racing left to do here.
Yeah, a lot of exciting racing happened so far, and heat number 3, we're looking to see a little bit more of it. There was a bit of beating and banging in heat number 2, but that's just part of it.
Yeah, rubbing is racing. Jason Minat, though, on the pole for this heat. Haven't really seen him towards the front in any of the races he has participated in. It'd be interesting to see how he fares up there in the banana boat. David Heileman, of course, we know we have some Heilemaniacs out in the chat. He's going to be starting to the outside, so he's got to make sure that he gets a good jump if he wants to try and battle for that race lead into turn number 1. And, of course, that second row with Debin and Carter, respectively, in 3rd and 4th. There's are going to be some more guys to watch out for in this heat. Again, top 3 transfer. Another 10 laps on the board. Jason Minat has command of the field coming to the green flag for heat number 3 on the night. The pace truck is off. And the 17 car on the gas. Green flag is out. And he gets a good jump over Heileman. Devon's actually going to pull up beside that 24 as they battle into turn number 1.
Yeah, keep your eye out for the 84. He was the fastest car in practice. Fell a little bit off in qualifying, but I'm sure he'll find the speed right here in the heat race. He's charging towards the front right now, trying to make a challenge for the lead.
Yeah, he dove it into turn number 3 that time. It's not going to be long before he is actually up there side by side with that 17 car. Heileman, though, shuffled back to 3rd on that initial start after Devin got around him. Randall Carter fighting with Olsen. Carter goes around on the backstretch. The 37 car involved in another wreck in a heat race. That's really going to put a damper on his night.
That's outbreak for the 37 car right there. And the top 3 have pretty much separated themselves from the field right now.
Yeah, with that that incident there between that 5 and that 37, definitely helped on that regard. But coming to complete lap number 3, Jason Minat still out front and looking pretty stout in that 17 car tonight.
Yeah, the 17 car is looking really impressive, and meanwhile the 84, he's got a challenge by David Heileman for the 2nd spot, and that's allowing the 17 to pull away.
Yeah, Heileman all the way to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to see if there's any moisture still left. He's going to ride the berm a little bit in the middle of 3 and 4. Going to lose a ton of time to Devin. Devin retakes that 2nd spot with ease. Both cars back to the high side in 1 and 2.
Yeah, I'm really surprised David's trying to run the bottom. You know, he's famous for running that outside and making it work. Let's see if he tries that here.
Yeah, all the way on that cushion with the right rear tire, sort of diamonding off the corner, trying to get as much speed as he can out of that car. Devin now running a little bit of the middle lane into the turn. That's going to give Heileman a little chance to get up here as we're just past halfway here, heat 3.
Yeah, 5 laps down, 5 laps to go, and the 17 car is really impressive. He's out to over a 2nd lead, and still a good battle right here for the 2nd spot.
The closest battle on track right now between Devin and Heilemann. Devin has the spot. Everybody would be locked into the feature as long as they could keep it pointed in the right direction and don't get into any incidents here. But Heilemann, we all know, he wants that second spot. He's going to try to drive around him on the inside. He's going to do it coming out of 2.
A really impressive move by the 24 car right there, but Devin's going to go right back on the inside and try to do the same thing with a slide job.
Yeah, that bottom lane just has no speed in it right now. He's all the way to the bottom of the racetrack. Going to try and drift it up coming out of the turn. Actually, he just keeps it on the bottom. With 2 laps to go, white flag's going to come out this time for Jason Minat. David Heilemann and Clay Devin still the closest battle on the racetrack. And this will dictate where they start in our feature later on tonight, as long as they can make this last lap.
Yeah, Jason Minat just coming around the back straightaway for the final time. He's got a 2-second lead. Really impressive heat race for the 17 car of Jason Minat.
Yeah, definitely had to put my foot in my mouth this time. Jason Minat, Heat 3 winner here in Knoxville. David Heilemann going to finish the second. Clay Devin gets that third and final transfer spot. Tommy Dutcher, Dylan Conrad, Cody Olson, Dalton Connor, and Randall Carter. The remainder of the Heat 3 results. And Heat number 4 about to go to the pit lane to grid up. And another interesting race there so far in all 3 heats. Heat number 4, let's hope it doesn't disappoint.
Yeah, we got a guy I'm not too familiar with there on the front row post, Tuttle. Real familiar with Skip, but the rest of these guys it's pretty fast. Another exciting heat race right here coming up for heat number 4.
He wasn't too bad in qualifying, only about a 10th off. Starting grid for heat number 4 on the left-hand side of your screen. As always, the 083 Skip Tuttle has the pole position. And to his outside, going to be the 11 of Zach Rounds. Dylan Hauser in the 13 car going to start out of position number 3. And the 47 of Lucas Chowning going to be in that 4th position. Kyle Miller in the 25 starting in 5th. And the 6th goes to the 74 of Blake Brown. Jacob Hilburn in the 7-11 car. Going to start out of the 7th position. And rounding out our 8-car field, going to be the 096 of Randy Crowder.
Well, 10 laps to distance. These heat races have went by pretty fast. We're already in the 4th heat and getting ready to come up on some C and B mains.
Yeah, I mean, and we've seen it week in and week out. You know, the heat races, Max would have his 10 cars on the track at one time. The max we've had so far tonight has been 9. Once we get into those C's and B's, I mean, the car count goes up, and the action on the track definitely ramps up as well. Going to be looking forward to that here. The C should only have 8 laps in it. To B main, another 10 laps on the board, and then we will go to our feature server. But right now, heat number 4 out here ready to put on a show. The 083 Skip Tuttle. He is down and away. Green flag. The rest of the field was trying to jump him there. Oh, oh no! Big incident.
Front row takes out themselves right there on the turn number 2.
Well, the rest of the field was trying to dictate the start. They had to wait on the leader to go. And Skip Tuttle wanted to wait a little bit to see if, get a little bit more towards the exit of 4. And it just ends up biting him right there. The 083 all the way back to the 7th position. Hauser now out in the lead and trying to fend off a hard charge in Lucas Chowning.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to go back and watch a replay on that. It looked like they were coming to the line almost 4 wide right there on the front row.
It definitely was. But now Hauser has that race lead. It doesn't look like Chowning has anything for him right now. He's not really gaining, not really losing any kind of time as Chowning tags the outside wall a little bit before the entry into turn number 3. Kyle Miller starting to fall back to the 74. Blake Brown right behind him. That's going to be the battle for the final transfer spot as the 74 is starting to come alive here.
Yeah, Blake Brown trying to look for an opening to get into the 8 feature right here in heat race number 4, trying to work his way on the inside of the 25 of Kyle Miller and just can't seem to get around him just at the moment.
Not right yet. There's a little bit of side-by-side, or there was a little bit of side-by-side back towards the back of the field. Pretty much we're single file for our first 4 drivers. Randy Crowder on that exchange up to the 5th position. So he'll have a good starting spot in either the B or the C, whichever one he ends up getting into. He's got Zach Rounds to the inside of him in that 11 car.
Still side by side for the 3rd and final transfer spot is the 25, 74, 25 holding him off. I'm also keeping an eye on Zach Rounds back here. He's trying to get back up to the 5th spot. He's just too far back to make anything happen though with the transfer.
Yeah, only 4 laps remaining here. Blake Brown trying different lines, and he's just not able to muster up enough speed to get around that 25. He's going to attempt a slide job here. Only gets to pull up beside him and doesn't pull up in front of him, so good heads-up call from that 74 car. I mean, he's still trying to run that bottom and get in front of that 25 car. The 25 just carrying too much momentum on that high side right now.
Yeah, no momentum right down there on the inside next to the berm. He's trying desperately. He's going to try to slide it right up in front of him right now. They touch a little bit.
And definitely a really risky maneuver from that 74 car. The 25 is going to dive it back in. I thought he was going to door slam him there in the middle of 1 and 2. But now Blake Brown into that final transfer spot. Kyle Miller with the slider on the 74. The 74 going to cross him over as they exit out of turn number 4. Coming to the white flag. The battle is on for this transfer spot.
Yeah, the plot thickens right here. 1 more lap to go. I'm looking for the 25 to try to come back and pull 1 more slide job here in turns 3 and 4. 74 into the wall just a little bit. Here comes the 25. He's going to slide up in front and take over the 3rd spot. Let's see if he can hold him off.
He's trying to come down the track to block him, but to no avail. Blake Brown is going to get that final transfer spot. Dylan Hauser gets the win. Lucas Chowning finishes in 2nd. So Kyle Miller going to have to go through a B main, as well as Zach Rounds, Randy Crowder, Jacob Hilburn, and Skip Tuttle. Your final results from heat number 4. And let's see what iRacing gives us. They're gonna grant us with a C main and a B main here tonight.
Yeah, 12 cars here in this C main, only 4 transfer.
I believe there's only going to be 10 because
there's only 10 cars, but I'm not racing. I can't race and announce at the same time.
I mean, that would be an impressive feat, but I'm not sure you'd be able to hear any direction from our director in there. So
I'm not good at following directions, anyways.
Well, the grid. Still waiting on a couple of more cars to get onto the starting grid here. It looks like we're close. Randy Crowder going to have the pole position here in the C main and at 096. Drew Phillips going to start to his outside in row number 1. John Literal, who started on the pole in one of the heats earlier tonight, going to try his luck out of position number 3. And Dalton Connor to his outside in row number 2. Jacob Hilburn out of that last heat in the 7-11 going to start out of 5th. And Caleb Sexton in the 522 out of position number 6. Actually, he's not even into server, so Randall Carter still technically going to be in the 8th position, but moving up a spot is going to be the 083 of Skip Tuttle. Up to 7th. 9th is going to be, actually, that's going to be it. Dennis Proctors Jr. is still going to have to start on the outside in position number 10, but he's going to be the 9th and final driver out here for this C main.
I'm keeping my eye on them back, that back row right there. Randall Carter and Skip Tuttle. Skip Tuttle started on the pole in heat race number 4 in an unfortunate incident. Caused him to finish last. We'll see if he can't charge his way through this field and get to the B and A main.
Yeah, we know Carter's got a fast car. We saw that in his heat. He ended up getting into an incident with, I believe it was the 5 of Cody Olson on the backstretch early on in his heat, sent him into the garage area for the time being. But Randy Crowder, who drove from 8th to 5th in his heat race, he's definitely going to be one to watch out for. Of course, the 22 Drew Phillips out there on the front row as well. So, still, 4 cars will advance to the B main. Only 8 laps on the board. Not a lot of time to get to where you need to be at. Pace truck is off. Randy Crowder, he starts it a little later than what we've been seeing tonight. But green flag is out. John Literal And the 7-11 trying to make it 3 wide into turn number 1. Drew Phillips ended up making contact with John Little coming out of turn number 2. So that's going to put Phillips all the way to the back of the pack. Top 4 right now, Crowder. Oh, who is that? Literal, Connor, and Hilburn as they hit the stripe to complete lap number 1. Randall Carter up into that 5th position as well.
Yeah, tough break for Drew Phillips on the start. Him and Literal make contact door to door, but he's still right there and got a shot. Just 8 laps to do it in.
Here goes Carter to the inside of Hilburn. He's trying to take over that 4th position, the 37 car up to P4. And on a mission right now. I mean, he pretty much made it look like the 7-11 was standing still.
A very impressive round for this 37 car. I look forward to seeing him in the B main and A main as well. He's got a very fast race car. If he can just keep it clean, then he'll be one to look out for come feature time.
And Drew Phillips making a good rebound as well. Now he's to the inside of Hilburn. He's going to put the slider on that 7-11. Not quite gets to the outside groove on exit, but he's got it now. He's up to position number 5 after that exchange on that start. We see Dalton Connor in his 23 trying to run that bottom lane as well. Here comes Randall Carter to the outside for 3rd.
Yeah, Connor's going to try to run the bottom side, and that's going to cost him a spot right here. It may cost him the transfer spot as Drew Phillips has got momentum on the outside if Connor sticks to the bottom groove.
Just past halfway, only 4 laps remaining. Carter all the way to that high lane. Literal still running in that slick in that 68. And now he's got a mirror full of that 37 if he has his mirrors on. Carter still on that top side. Everybody running at bottom. Maybe there's something working on the track change. Literal gets a little contact from the 37. Now Carter to the outside for that 2nd position. He's going to have this race lead before long, folks.
Yeah, Randall Carter, he's on a mission. He doesn't just want to transfer to the B main. He wants to win.
Yeah, that'll give him a good starting spot in the B main. He's just about got it right now. Randall Carter, of course, we've seen him in pretty much every single feature race so far in the UMP Modified Series here. But now he's got the race lead. White flag out for Randall Carter. 55 1/1000ths of a second at the line.
Yeah, Randall Carter on the outside. He's going to power his way around for the win.
3 and 4 for the final time here. Carter on that high side, hustling, gets the checkered flag for the C main. Going to start close to a transfer spot in the B main coming up. Randy Crowder, John Literal, and Dalton Connor all advance. Drew Phillips, Caleb Sexton, Jacob Hilburn, Skip Tuttle, Dennis Potridge Jr., and others will go home tonight. Now, we only have 15 cars in this B main, so Carter technically starting in a transfer spot out of position number 12. Can any of the other drivers from that transfer from the C main make their way into the show here through this B?
Yeah, tough break for Drew Phillips in that C main. Started on the front row and had a good run going and fast race car. Just contact early on and misses the transfer by 1 spot. To the trailer he goes.
Oh, always a tough break when we got to send cars home. Grid is now up. Grid is going to be on the ticker on the top of your screen. Garrett Neberg, you're going to have the pole here. And Howard Weaver going to be to his outside in row number 1. Tommy Dutcher, Kyle Miller make up row number 2. Benjamin Nading and Jacob Fields in row 3. Dylan Conrad going to roll out of the 7th position. And Zach Round's going to be to his outside in 8th. Rocky Battenfield in the 097 going to start out of 9th and 10th, and the 93 of Kyle Morris. Cody Olson's going to start out of 11th, and Randall Carter on the outside of row number 6. Randy Crowder in 13th. 14th goes to John Literal, and Dalton Connor going to bring up the rear here in 15th. Cody Olson was delivered an EOL penalty for the contact between him and Carter in his heat race. So he's going to start from the back of the inside row as we have one more parade lap around the half mile here at Knoxville.
Yeah, one more time around. 12 cars transfer out of this and 15 cars start. So keep your nose clean and run a good race, and you'll probably wind up with a transfer spot.
You know, one car that is definitely anxious to make this B main, that 07 Howard Weaver championship points leader. Last 2 weeks he's had to race out of a B main, so not going to have a great starting position unless he can finish towards the front of this B main. But the green flag is out. Garrett Newbergy in the 19 car gets us underway here. Green flag for the B main. Howard Weaver tucked in behind him. We got a battle on for third, and behind him we got 3 wide action almost all over the track.
Yeah, the 722 hits the berm just a little bit going into turn number 1 and 2, and we got a pile of race cars right back here in the 3rd, 4th, 5th spots.
Yeah, 4 wide way back there, but we still have a lot of side-by-side action. We're looking at Fields and Miller right now. The 007 on the inside, the all-black 25 on the outside, has the momentum, going to keep that 3rd spot for right now. And then right behind him, look back at Randy Crowder in the 096. We're 4 wide back here.
Yeah, it's 4 wide back there, and I'm watching the battle for the race lead as Weaver is right there challenging the 19 for the race lead going down the back straightaway.
And of course, we can see this coming. Teammates out here. The 19 still on the high side. Weaver trying to prove that the bottom is still a
we got a spinner in the back.
Yeah, looking for the number here. Looks like Dylan Conrad, the 177, had went around, as well as maybe the 21 of Benjamin Nading. Yeah, he's way off the pace right now.
Yeah, tough break for the 21. The 77 just contacted in the back, just all right there racing together, just close, trying to get in that transfer spot to make the A feature.
Yeah, but the thing is, they were definitely solidly in a transfer spot right now. That belongs to Dalton Connor in that 23 car, trying to get around John Little in the 68. He has Cody Olson trying to get around him as well in that 5 car. So that's where the transfers will end. Howard Weaver falling off pace from Garrett Newbergy right now as looking back here towards the battle for 4th. Tommy Dutcher puts a slider on the 11 car. Zach Rounds now crosses him back over coming out of turn number 2. Loses some momentum. Had to get off the gas to try and keep out of that 722. Now Rounds back to the bottom. He's actually running that middle line as we pretty much have a lot of single file racing in front of them, but behind them they're still side by side.
Yeah, I'm watching the battle right here for the 12th and final transfer spot. Cody Olson looking on the inside of the 68 of John Literal for that 12th and final transfer spot in the A feature.
And Literal's not going to go down without a fight, but it looks like Olson's going to take that position and slide up right in front of the 78. So Olson now in that transfer spot. We have 3 laps to run for Garrett Newbergy to take the checker flag and to be main. Going to start in 13th if he can do so. So we're pretty much setting positions 12 through 24 in this, and it's still a lot of single file action until we get back here. Randy Crowder getting passed by the 23 of Dalton Connor back here for the 11th position, or 10th position, excuse me.
The closest side-by-side racing right now is for that 10th, 11th, 12th spot right there on the racetrack.
And here we go. Slide job for the race lead. Weaver goes above and beyond the cushion. Newbergy's going to pull away by about 4 car lengths as they head into turn 3 for the final time here in the B main. Garrett Newbergy out of turn 4 going to take the checkered flag for the B main.
Yeah, what a great run for Garrett Newbergy in the first spot, and Howard Weaver. Good job keeping it clean.
And at the last second, John Literal gets around both Randy Crowder and Cody Olson, and Cody Olson going to go home. Crowder gets that final transfer spot.
Yeah, tough break for Cody Olson. He gets passed right there in turn number 4, and John Literal goes from 13th to 11th in one turn.
So your results read as follows: Newbergy, Weaver, Fields, Dutcher, Rounds, Kyle Morris, Randall Carter, Rocky Battenfield, Kyle Miller, Dalton Connor, John Literal, and Randy Crowder round out your 12 cars who make the transfer. Cody Olson, Benjamin Nading, and Dylan Conrad going to be sent home packing tonight. So, I mean, great racing so far. We got the feature, a 60-lap feature, mind you, coming up in just a few minutes. And, you know, what are your impressions so far tonight here, Tommy?
The track's really slicked up. It's really slow in the bottom. There's no good way around it. The track will probably change right here before the feature, and I'm excited to see what plays out.
All right. Well, we got to, of course, give a thanks to our sponsors here. We got to thank X.CELERATED for title sponsoring all 3 of the Big 3 series for this season. And got to thank WR1 Sim Chassis. They're going to be giving away a sim rig to the modified champion. Team Friday Chassis Consultants, as always, sponsoring the fastest lap for all 3 series. Tonight's Heart Charger Award, sponsored by Burberry Designs. And got to thank the Kenny Wallace Dirt Racing Experience for giving a free drive to all of the VLR champions this season. Also got to thank a couple of our affiliates here. Dirt Car Racing, Extreme Race Graphics, RacingIn.com, Farmer City Raceway, the Tennessee Punch Bunch, St. Louis Dirt Track Racing, and the Volusia Speedway Park. All of our affiliates are listed at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. You can go check them out on Facebook. All you have to do is type in what you see there, and you will find them. So we're going to go to our feature server, and we'll be back after we pay a couple of bills.
The car behind me is my Chili Bowl midget, the one that I won the Chili Bowl with. And what's interesting about that is it's actually the car that iRacing scanned that's going to be available to all the iRacing members out there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Knoxville Raceway. Some cloud cover has rolled in here for race number 10 of the Accelerated UMP Modified Series presented by WR1 Sim Chassis. We're live here at the feature server. We can see that they reworked the track pretty much all the way back down to a solid starting state here. So we got 60 laps on tap for you. The only special rules that we're going to have tonight during the first half of the race, they're going to attempt 2 double file restarts. If the boys can't get things under control, we're going to go to single file until the halfway point. And then after the halfway point, we're going to try it again with 2 double file restarts. And if those 2 don't succeed, then we'll go back to single file. So we're looking at the practice session to try to break in the track a little bit. You can see everybody now migrating still to that top lane, but more along the lines running that middle side right now.
Yeah, going into this feature event, it looks like you'll have a lot more options from the outside to the inside to try to make a pass. On where we got to the B main while ago, and you're pretty much just up top just trying to hang on.
Which, of course, still makes for, some exciting racing, but single lane tracks are, not the best for passing here. Not the best for, a lot of excitement on the racetrack. Drivers manufacture that themselves by giving a little bit of bumper love to one another. But we should be getting ready to get to the business at hand, which is the 60-lap feature here at the half mile at Knoxville. And it does look like we have all of our competitors in this server, so just waiting on the advancement of the session, and then we'll get some racing going on.
Yeah, this is going to be an exciting one for sure. Your current points leader, he's going to start on the pole. Dylan Wilson, or second in points, excuse me. He's chasing Howard Weaver as your points leader, and he starts way back there in 13th, 14th position.
Well, let's see where we go here for the grid. Yes, Dylan Wilson going to have the pole, so already a good night starting out for him. Very impressive heat run from Jason Minat, a dominant win in that 8 car, which was the 17 during the heats. They decided to rewrap the door and the roof a little bit. Drivers loading into the pit lane here at Knoxville. I'm going to let a couple more of them get on here, and then we'll roll down our starting grid for our 60-lap feature event.
A 60-lap feature event, no cautions counting tonight. It should be a very, very interesting race.
All right, Dylan Wilson, of course, we've already mentioned, going to start on the pole here to his outside in row number 1, the 777 of Jacob Leverstein. Virgil Graham going to roll off of row number 2 to the inside, and to his outside, going to be Jason Minat in that 8 car. The 14 of Dylan Howes are going to start out of position number 5, and Jeremy Capron in the 23 going to start out of 6th. Trevor Fitz in the 28 car rolling off in 7th, and to his outside in row number 4 going to be the 17 of David Heileman. Lucas Chowding and Kendall Tucker make up row 5. And then Clay Debin in the 84 starts out of 11th, and Blake Brown out of the 12th position.
Yeah, Garrett Nebray brings up in number 13, and Howard Weaver starting in 7th row outside. On the 8th row inside, it'll be Jacob Fields in the 007 and Tommy Dutcher in the 722. Starting in the 17th spot on the 9th row, the 16 of Zach Rounds and the 93 of Kyle Morris. Randall Carter in the 37 and Rocky Battenfield will bring up your 10th row. On the 11th row in the 10 car will be Kyle Miller, and to his outside in the 20 will be Dalton Connor. And bringing up the rear in the 68 will be John Littrell. And to his outside, starting in the 24th position, will be Randy Crowder.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you've shared. Give a like on the video out there on the Facebook. If you're watching anywhere else, make sure you get a friend or two to watch. We are about to go feature racing here. Dylan Wilson on the gas pedal. Green flag is out here for race number 10 here in Knoxville.
Great jump for Wilson. He currently jumps out to the early lead. Leverstein in chase. We got 3 wide for the 4th spot, and we got contact right there between 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Yeah, Fitz got into Hauser. Fitz still, oh, it's a pile.
We got a big pile up right there.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Heileman's still beating and banging with some people. Neubergi's going to go around on the front stretch. Oh, my God, the carnage.
Lots of contact. Randall Carter, 37. He's had an eventful night. He is upside down.
It looks like it all started coming out of turn 2, to be honest with you. Trevor Fitz and Hauser had some contact out of turn number 2 here on the inaugural lap. Fitz trying to run it inside, got into Hauser, slowed up everybody. Capron got onto the brakes. Kendall Tucker shot the low side. Then Fitz gets into Tucker going into turn number 3. And then it's just calamity and all-out slobber knocker in 3 and 4. And, I mean, everybody was going the right way until Neubergi got punted around in that 19 car. And that's going to end both, well, actually Neubergi getting back out onto the track. Randall Carter on the pit lane, as well as the 722 of Tommy Dutcher.
Yeah, tough break for a lot of drivers with a lot of damage on their race cars just here in lap number 1.
So my question is, does lap 1 count? I think it does. I think Dylan Wilson was past the line when the caution came out, so we should have 1 lap complete out of the 60 here tonight, and probably just a result of a tacky track here and a little bit of impatience here early on into going in this race.
I'm still waiting on the word if that lap 1 counted or not, or do we still have 60 laps remaining?
Well, they're lining back up 2 by 2. Lights are off the pace truck. Dylan Wilson still out front. Got a pretty good jump on the rest of the field on that initial restart, or the initial start, excuse me. Leverstein, Graham, and Minat still your top 2 rows, as this will be another attempt to get this thing going. Actually, lights are still on the pace car. They were lining up 2 by 2 like we were getting ready to start going racing. Kendall Tucker was given an EOL penalty there, so he's going to go to the end of the longest line in a 00 car. It's a shame after starting in 10th and, you know, trying to avoid stuff. I'm not 100% sure the call was there, but, you know, nonetheless, he gets the EOL.
Yeah, tough break for Kendall Tucker. He has to go to the rear, but he has a lot of laps to get right back up there to the front. He's got a fast race car. Let's see what he can do with it from the rear.
All right, Dylan Wilson, the 80 car, getting set to get us back underway here. The pace truck going to make that hard left-hand turn into the safety of the pit area. Dylan Wilson down and away. Green flag back out here at Knoxville. Gets a good jump on the rest of the field. Now Virgil Graham trying to get to the inside of Leverstein. Leverstein's going to pull away from him, as now Graham going to settle into that 3rd spot. Hauser to the inside of Jason Minat coming out of 2.
Dylan Hauser making a real charge right now on the 8 car of Jason Minette for the 4th spot, and side by side they go. That's your side by side race right now, closest to the front.
Now Minat to the inside of the 42. Hauser going to push up the track a little bit. Almost gets into the 8 car. 8 might have gotten a little piece of Graham out of turn number 2. Everybody's still pointing in the right direction. Hauser powers around the bottom. Gets around that 8 car as he gets into the berm. He gets into the back of the 14 as well. Lucas Chowdy to the outside of the 8 car as Minat gets shuffled back a couple of positions on that exchange.
Yeah, close, tight racing right here. A little bit of beating and banging. Dylan Wilson and Jacob Leverstein currently right now battling for the lead right up here up front.
Yeah, Leverstein's been a stud in the late model so far this season. We've seen him towards the front in a couple of modified races, but this is about the closest he's been to a race lead, as that battle for third is starting to heat up as well. Hauser trying to get around Virgil Graham, just about got into him there on the entry into turn number 3. Graham almost riding that berm on the absolute inside of the racetrack.
Yeah, close, tight racing all right here through 5th, 6th, 7th, all the way back to the 9th spot. Weaver, he's made his way up to the 9th position, starting 14th, your current points leader, trying to keep his lead, but he's got a long way to go to catch Dylan Wilson, who's currently your race leader.
And 6 laps down now in the books here at Knoxville, so still a long way to go for a lot of these drivers who've got fast cars mired in the back to try to make their starts to the front of the pack. Still, that battle is heating up for that race lead. Leverstein, he's putting together some good charges on Dylan Wilson right now. We'll see how that works out as the track is going to continue to change, as 21 cars still out here on the racetrack on the lead lap, tearing this track up lap after lap.
Dylan Wilson all over the back bumper of the 42 of Virgil Graham. He's trying to get around the 3rd spot and try to work his way up towards the front. He's putting a lot of pressure on that 42 car right now.
I mean, it's just a snake running in through turn number 2 between 3rd and the 9th position. So you got 6 or 7 cars you can pretty much throw a blanket over. As there goes Hauser back to the inside of Graham. The battle on for that 3rd position. He's going to push up, almost gets into the driver's side of that 42 car, backs off just enough. Virgil Graham retakes that 3rd spot.
Yeah, side by side, close racing. 1st and 2nd kind of ran away from the field. They got just about a 2nd lead over the 3rd place spot, and they're having a side by side battle of their own.
And Leverstein, he just seems like he just can't exactly get there, as he's going to dive it into turn 3 that time. He's got his right front tire at the door of that 80 car, but the 80 just gets such a good drive off the top side. He's going to put a car length in between them as they cross the start-finish line there to complete lap 10.
Yeah, Wilson's line is just so fast right now. He gets such a great run coming on the outside, coming out the corner. It's just wicked fast coming right out of the corner.
I'm trying to see I believe this Randall Carter right in front of him is going to be a lapper. He might get caught here in a couple of laps if we keep this thing under green flag conditions. Still looking back here, Hauser still trying to put that 14 car into that 3rd position. We saw a little bit of battle right behind him between Capron and Brown as well. And that's back there for the 7th and 8th spot. Weaver's starting to lose a little bit of touch with this pack, as now Zach Rounds back here from 17th all the way up to 10th already on the night.
Yeah, Zach Rounds, he had a tough break in his heat race, getting knocked back from the outside pole position to almost last in his heat race, but he's trying to make a charge right now here in the feature event and get up close towards the front.
And he's up 7 positions. Another guy moving through the field pretty good is that 10 car of Kyle Miller. He's up 7 positions as well from 21st. Oh, we got a wreck just about happening. It's got Weaver involved, Capron and Blake Brown. Not sure exactly what happened there, but now Brown's going to get around the outside of the 74 car of Brown. So the 16 now up into the 7th position.
Yeah, it looks like the 74 just got up on the berm just a little bit, and it caused Weaver and Capron to try to slam on the brakes, and Weaver just couldn't slow down in time.
And a little bit of a door slam in there between the 84 and the 17 as well. Clay Debin now 3 wide between Weaver and Jacob Fields. He backs off. Now the 10 car going to go around his outside as well. Capron has recovered, and he's now trying to throw his hat into the mix as well. This is back here for about the 12th position. And right in front of him, Weaver all over the back of that 007 of Fields. There's Capron trying to make the middle side work.
Yeah, tough break for Weaver and Capron. Capron started in the 6th spot. He's down to the 14th spot after that incident. And how about Zach Rounds? He's up to the 7th position. He's up 10 spots, 17th to 7th already here in the feature event.
He's chasing down this 4-car pack led by Virgil Graham, Hauser, Chowning, and Jason Minat, who he is definitely putting together an impressive run here in Knoxville. A little bit off the pace now from the top 3, but still starting in 4th, only shuffled back to 6th. But we have to talk about our leaders here. Wilson and Leverstein have completely checked out. They are in a completely different zip code right now. Over 2.5 seconds back from our leader to third place, Virgil Graham. 20 laps down, 40 left on the board.
That's such an amazing feat for these drivers to run side by side like this almost all the way around the racetrack and still put almost 2 seconds over the rest of the field. It's just amazing how fast these two drivers are right now.
Of course, Leverstein loses. It just seems like Leverstein's got him in 1 and 2, but in 3 and 4, Wilson just gets such a good run off that high side that he's able to pull away from Leverstein. As you can see, Leverstein closed in by about a half a car length coming out of turn 2 that last time. Wilson, he's definitely in a good position to make a ton of points up on Howard Weaver. He only came in 4 behind in this race to the points leader of Howard Weaver, so a great night for him. The battle is on side by side for third.
Yeah, it looks like Hauser's going to try to power around Graham for that third spot, and he's going to make it work on the outside now.
Graham trying to cross him back over into turn number 1. They go yet again. The bottom side just doesn't have any speed here at Knoxville. Hauser has that third spot commandingly now. Chowning looking to pounce as Minat's to the inside of Chowning, or he was there for a split second. Now Graham back to 4th, Hauser up to 3rd. Chowning, your top 5 as they run.
Yeah, I thought for a second there Minot was going to have something for Lucas Chowning in that fifth spot, but Zach Rounds, he's sitting there waiting for something to happen so he could move up to the top 5.
And pretty much everybody single file all the way back to the 11th position, which is right now Howard Weaver Capron leading the second group of charges. Actually, Nabergi just put a slider on Clay Debin into turn 1 that last time. Debin crosses him back over, retakes that 15th spot. I mean, there's still a lot of tight battling towards the front, but it's looking like 3rd and 4th have started to pull away from Lucas Chowning. Zach Rounds has gotten around Jason Minat as well, and then right behind Minat, we've just about had some 3 wide battling between Brown, Fields, and Heileman.
Yeah, keep your eye out. These 3 have caught the pack of Minot, Rounds, and Chowning, and keep your eye out for the 07 of Howard Weaver. He is currently sneaking right back up there in the picture, trying to get right back in the top 10.
A quick little update on our race leaders. They are still nose to tail all the way around the track. Wilson's still out front. Leverstein hasn't been able to put together a charge yet. I mean, it looks like he has just a smidgen of a faster car, but then once you think that, Wilson starts to pull away from him, so not sure if Leverstein's just overdriving it right now, if Wilson's overdriving it, or what's going on, but they have put almost 3 seconds on 3rd place in Hauser, and Hauser's now starting to come alive as well in F14.
Yeah, almost a 3-second advantage over the 3rd place spot, and they're coming up on lap traffic. Maybe this will play a role into who takes the lead here in the next couple laps, but if a caution doesn't fly, they're coming up on the lap traffic pretty quickly.
And just past halfway here, 30 more laps to run at the Knoxville Raceway, and we've seen it before. Wilson out front catches lap traffic and ends up falling back to 2nd, and then cannot get that race lead back. We saw that at Lanier a couple of weeks ago. So Wilson maybe starting to have a little bit of flashbacks as he is catching up to the back half of this field. Hauser now closed the margin down to 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on Zach Rounds. He's starting in the 17th position. He's up to 6. He's challenging for Chowning for the top 5.
And a solid candidate for the Burberry Designs Hard Charger Award is that 16 car. I mean, if he can get up to Chowning, I'm pretty sure he's gonna try to make short work of him and Virgil Graham. Back behind him, then Minat leading another group of 4 cars. Blake Brown almost caught up to the back of that 8 car as they dive into turn 1 and 2 yet again here at Knoxville. Fields trying to get up there as well, and Weaver has gotten around Heileman, who's fallen way off the pace there in the 17 car. Not exactly 100% sure what happened to him. He might have gotten a little squirrely there battling with that 07, or Weaver just got around him and 17 just falling off the pace right now.
Yeah, Dylan Wilson, he's almost pulled away almost a half second over Jacob Leverstein as we're watching these battles right here in the middle of the pack. Wilson's put some distance between him and the second position.
All right, 35 laps complete, 25 left to go. Dylan Wilson, Jacob Leverstein, Dylan Hauser, Virgil Graham, and Lucas Chowning, your top 5 as we are now to the back half of this race. Look at that 16 of Zach Rouse. He's caught up to that 47 car of Lucas Chowning. Had to back off a little bit to not run into the driver's side of that 47 car, but now he's charging back up there, getting that right front wheel to the door panel of Chowning's machine. A couple laps consecutively now, and Minet's actually catching back up to this this pack as well.
Yeah, if you notice going down the front and back straightaways, the cars are starting to wobble and bounce, do a little bit of bouncing, almost like a basketball. We'll see if that inside groove turns out to be a little bit quicker here later on in the race, as we've run about 34 consecutive green flag laps.
And just about here. I mean, it's crazy on the front stretches, on both of the straightaways. You can see a little bit of it in the turns, but those straightaways, they just get tore up. And, oh, geez, that back, watching this battle with the 42 group and just seeing how much the rear suspension is working here, it's just incredible. And then off of 4 as well, so got to be careful which way your car is pointed, as Minet's now to the outside of that 16 car.
Yeah, I was watching Dylan Hauser for just a second there. I noticed he's almost cut a second off his time between him and Dylan Wilson for the lead. He's only a second and a half back right as Wilson's caught lap traffic. He's having a tough time getting through it.
And caution comes out
on the speedway.
It looks like that is the 20 car. That's going to be Dalton Connor going yet another lap down. He was slow coming out of turn 4. Let's see what happened to him. It looks like he's running that middle lane, and he had a little bit of help from the 84, Clay Devin.
I'm watching it right now, and it looks like Devin just gets into the back of him just a little bit. Maybe had a little bit of a run going in the inside, and 20 slows up, and around he goes.
Oh, no, Jason Minet got into a little bit of problem as well. Hold on, let's, oh, yeah, so don't know what the caution was exactly for. Minet ran into the back of, tried to back off the back end of Chowning there. And Jacob Fields just, he had nowhere to go and ends up taking out that 8 car. So Minet all the way back into the 12th position behind Heileman now, as he was sitting up there battling for what was going to be the any position between 4th and 7th.
Yeah, it's a tough break for your heat number 4 winner, Jason Minot. He was having an incredibly impressive run up there in the top 5, top 7, pretty much the whole race, and just an unfortunate set of circumstances has him back there mid-pack now. Not a place you'd usually like to be.
No, that is true. Lights are off of the pace truck. Caution flag has been thrown by the admins. So I believe we're going to be going. We might still have double file restarts because we didn't have an extra caution there before the break at the halfway for that rule I mentioned at the top of the broadcast. So we should have another double file restart. It looks like Dylan Wilson going to elect to take the high side possibly on this restart. Now, all the leaders coming to these starts have been starting on the bottom of the racetrack. So this is going to be the first time that we see a race leader start from the outside. I wonder what that's going to bring.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting move, the way the track's changed, and getting a little rough up there, but maybe it's still fast for Wilson, and that's where he likes to be.
The rest of the pack got to catch up to the back of that front row. Pace truck going to take him into turn 4. Less than 25 laps remaining here at Knoxville. Dylan Wilson still your race leader, leading wire to wire so far. Pace truck is off. Good start from Leverstein on the bottom, though. He's going to be right there tucked in behind the 80 car as they head into turn number 1. And look at Hauser. Hauser had came alive at the end of that run. Now Leverstein to the inside. Battle is on for the race lead. Wilson gets a little bit of contact into the wall. He checks up. Leverstein going to slide up right in front of him. Wilson going to try to cross him back over. Leverstein's going to lead the lap here.
Yeah, tough break for Dylan Wilson. He gets into the wall, but he's going to put a slider back on Leverstein. They're almost side by side going down the back straightaway. Oh, they touch just a little bit, and Wilson's going to take the race lead back. And here comes Hauser on the inside trying to throw it in there for second.
Gets into Leverstein. Leverstein now outside of the groove. Channing going to get around him. Now he's going to have to see if he can fit in front of Virgil Graham. He does, but now Graham goes to the bottom of the racetrack. No slider out of him. And now the 16 going to try and follow that 777. Past that 42, and the battle is on for second. Channing to the inside, Hauser on the outside.
Yeah, things getting a little chippy right here. Closing laps of the race, about 20 laps to go, and keep your eye out on Dylan Hauser. He's worked his way up to the second spot. He was fast right there before the caution came out. If he can get back in his groove, maybe he can run down Wilson for the race lead.
And look at Zach Rounds all the way from 17th. He just took over the third spot from Channing. So that's going to put him up 14 positions on the night. Now sets its sights on the 14 car of Dylan Hauser as our top 5 now. Single file, Virgil Graham trying to get to the inside of Jacob Leverstein. Jacob Fields almost let Graham in, but thought better about it. He's going to take over that 6th spot. It's Channing now outside of the groove in that 47 car.
Yeah, the track's really changed up on these drivers, as you can see them bouncing all the way around the racetrack on the outside. Really impressive run right there by the 16 car. Just great racing all the way around the racetrack right now. They've kind of spread out the top 3.
Yeah, 15 laps to go last time by, coming to 14 laps remaining on the scoring pylon, and business has definitely picked up. Our top 4, top 7 actually, all single file. Channing jumps the cushion and is going to lose that spot to the 007 of Jacob Fields. That's going to put him into the top 5 for the first time tonight. He's come up from the 15th position. Now Virgil Graham to the inside, battling Channing for that 6th position.
Yeah, Dylan Wilson still holding on to a comfortable lead. He's pulled out just over almost a second lead over Hauser. And Rounds is almost caught to the rear end of Dylan Hauser for the 2nd spot. Zach Rounds coming from the 17th. He's challenging for 2nd.
Yeah, he's definitely got a fast hot rod. Wilson starting to get reeled in by this 2nd and 3rd place battle. Now Rounds to the inside of Hauser. He's going to try to put the slider on Hauser. He does it pretty cleanly. Hauser gets into the back of him, checks up a little bit as well. Now Zach Rounds up to 2nd position.
Zach Rounds up 15 spots. He's only got one more spot to take the lead. He's really charged. 15 spots up to 2nd. What an impressive run for Zach Rounds.
All right, and at the stripe here, 10 laps to go for Dylan Wilson, tied among the top of the all-time UMP modified wins list with Howard Weaver with 5 apiece. Can he break the tiebreaker here tonight? Is Zach Rounds going to spoil this party, drive all the way from 17th to the race win? Hauser now lost a little bit of time to Rounds as well. Leverstein still back and forth, and Jacob Fields your top 5 as we have 9 laps left to run.
An impressive run for Jacob Fields, too. He started in the 15th position. He's in the top 5 as well. He just got around Virgil Graham for the 5th spot. And Jacob Leverstein, who was challenging for the lead most of the race, he's still in the 4th position.
Last time by, the gap was .850. The gap now is .787 between Wilson and Rounds. It's going to be a question of, does Rounds have enough time? Heilemann upside down. Gets it back on the right track. Caution comes out with 8 laps to go.
Yeah, unfortunately, I missed the David Heilemann incident. I'm trying to find it right now on my screen to see exactly what happened.
Yeah, it looks like him and Capron were battling back here. Let's see, Capron's in the 9th position, so I would have to assume this was for a top 10 spot. And it looked like Capron just got loose and slid up into Heilemann. Heilemann hits the roller coaster ride that is the bump into turn 1, rides the wall, Ooh, who is that? The 28. Trevor Fitz got a little piece of the 17 car as well as he was getting the car back upright. So the caution comes out late here in the going.
Yeah, really tough break for all the Howlemaniacs out there. David Howley started in 8th position. He's upside down, and
definitely one of the more interesting wrecks I have seen, because you could, if you are watching from my point of view, which is pretty much at the grandstand, you could see him try to turn the wheel all the way to the left and keep that right front on the ground to try and steer him back onto the racing surface, back on all fours. But it didn't happen. He ended up having to have assistance from the guardrail that is the wall here.
yeah, this Knoxville track, it's pretty tricky. Unfortunately, on my end, it kind of blinked out, and I did not get to see the incident. But it looks like we're doubling back up here and getting ready to go back green flag racing.
Oh, I thought Dylan Wilson was out of gas. He stacked up the field right there. That was very scary for those Dylan Wilson fans out there. Zach Rounds going to start on the front row as well. The 16 car has had such an impressive drive tonight. Can he take home the bacon? There goes Dylan Wilson down and away. Gets a good jump over Rounds as the green flag flies. 8 laps left to run. Zach Rounds in the 16 car. He's already to the back bumper of the 60 car. The battle is on for the race lead.
Zach Rounds from the 17th spot. He's gonna try to take the lead here on lap. We got 8 laps to go. Sideways, car spinning in the back.
We did not get to the start-finish line there, so still 8 laps left on the board. Car spinning in the back. It looks like
it was the 74, Blake Brown, getting turned around.
Let's see what exactly happened there. He split the difference between the 8 and the 10 and slides up in front of the 8 car. Jason Minat ends up putting the 74 around. A lot of cars still wrecking on the front stretch after that happened. David Heileman ends up getting into it, as well as it looks like Lucas Chowning, Clay Debin, Trevor Fitz got a little piece of it. Randall Carter, Rocky Battenfield had a little bit of incident, a little bit of contact. So a lot of drivers, some bent up sheet metal here late in the race.
Seven laps to go, Wes, and look who's in the top 5. Dylan Wilson, your points leader. He's leading the race, but Howard Weaver somehow snuck into the top 5 and saving some points.
Yeah, sure. I mean, definitely hasn't had a one of his patented nights here. Normally we see him transfer through his heat races. Last 2 weeks, though, consecutively had to transfer through the B main. Started in 14th all the way up to into the 5th position, up 11 spots on the evening. And I mean, just proving why he is sitting atop of the points championship right now. Looks like a single file restart is in order for Dylan Wilson. Pace truck is off. 80 car is down and away. Green flag back out here with 7 laps to go. Zach Round still going to try and stalk that 80 car. There goes Liverstein with a slider in front of Hauser behind him, though. Hauser crosses him back over. Weaver trying to capitalize as well, but they're drag racing down the backstretch between that 14 and the 777.
Lots of contact between the 14 and 777, and Weaver's on the inside trying to figure out, what do I need to do to get around both of these guys?
6 laps to go. You got to get what you can. Here goes the battle for the race lead. Rounds to the inside of Wilson, trying to diamond off the corner. He's going to try and set him up for a slider. I can just feel it in my bones right now as Wilson's a little slow coming off of 4. 5 laps to go.
Weaver in the wall.
Yeah, he is. Loses a ton of time and a ton of spots, so that's going to shuffle him back behind Jason Minat, so put him back into the 9th position. Still up front, Wilson fending off a hard-charging Zach Rounds. Rounds is there. He can almost touched him into 1 that time around. 4 laps to run, and Dylan Wilson still with that race lead. What is Zach Rounds planning on doing here?
4 laps to go. The track is really rough right now. As you can see, I'm bouncing all over the racetrack. You got to find somewhere to stick it and try to make a move. Time running out.
3 laps remaining, and caution flies in the back. I believe Newbergy was involved in a little bit of it. Jason Minat is around as well in the 8 car. Just looked like it was a little slow. Yeah, out of turn number 3, Chowning and Minat got involved. Newbergy and Devin go around in front of the rest of the field. And then what happened there on the front stretch between Minat and the 10? Looks like Minat may have just came down, didn't think that the 10 was there. And that takes him pretty much out of the race tonight. Actually, he does disconnect from the racing server. So the 8 car goes around. 2 separate incidents again out on the racing surface, but still 3 laps left to run. Time is running out. Can Zach Rounds pull this off, or will Dylan Wilson take home another checkered flag here tonight?
Yeah, tough break for the 8 car. He tried to cross over the 47, and the 10 car was right there underneath him, and they just touched and met in the middle.
I mean, and it's not like there's not battles all over the racetrack. I mean, everybody is trying to get as much as they can out of these cars here in the closing laps. I mean, we've seen Hauser and Leverstein battling side by side for that 3rd position. I think that's probably about where they're going to get, unless they can pull off a restart of a lifetime here. We've seen Capron make his way back up through the field. He's back up into the 7th position. Weaver rebounds from getting into the wall on that last run, up back into the 8th position. And Kyle Miller, the 10 car, having a great run as well, up from 21st to the top 10 for the first time tonight.
A very impressive run for Kyle Miller. Not a lot spoken of him, but 21st to 10th, and that's a solid night in anybody's books. 3 laps to go here. Can Zach Rounds make a move on Dylan Wilson to close out this victory?
He's shown he has the speed so far tonight. Wilson has shown he has the speed to win this thing. Unfortunately, we can only walk away with 1 winner. Pace truck is off. Wilson holds up the field, gets onto the gas. Green flag is out. Leader dictates the start, and he got a good one. Caution comes out behind him because of the stack up.
Yeah, that was a funny start right there. Like Wilson kind of stacked up the field behind him and took off, and nobody else knew when to go.
And as leader, he has that prerogative. I mean, you know, we've seen it on every restart so far in this race. He's pretty much left as soon as the pace truck. Oh no, we don't have another glitch, do we? No, pace truck is out on the racetrack. Thank goodness gracious. But again, to reiterate my point, it's the leader's prerogative to go when he wants. Everybody else has to follow suit behind him. You can't jump past the leader just because he doesn't go when you want him to. So the 80 car playing it smart here, trying to keep that 16 mired behind him. So, I mean, he's got to pull everything out of here. He knows that 16 is fast behind him. He knows that he has the speed to keep up with him, and he knows he has the speed to pass him. It's just, you know, catching them is one thing, passing them is always another.
Yeah, it's cat and mouse right here. 3 laps to go. Wilson's got to bring out the tricks to hold on to the victory.
Still 3 laps remaining. We are going to get a finish under green flag conditions here for you out there watching on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch, wherever you're watching from. I want to thank y'all for coming out tonight, because 9 times out of 10 y'all don't stay for the interview, so I don't get to tell y'all that most of the time. So thanks for coming out and watching. We appreciate it week in and week out. And let's see if we can't finish this race strong here. Dylan Wilson, Zach Rounds, Dylan Hauser, Jacob Leverstein, and Virgil Graham, your top 5 with 3 laps remaining. Lights are going to come off of the pace truck this time by, and I'm going to stack the field back up under the single file restart format here.
Let's see what Wilson does on this restart. Let's see if he goes late like he did just this last restart.
Again, I got to say it's up to the other drivers to go off of the leader. I mean, if he wanted to, he could just wait till the green flag flies through the iRacing service, but I don't know. Let's see what he does here. 3 laps still on the board. He gets on the gas pedal. Green flag is out for hopefully the final time. He gets a good 4-car length advantage over Zach Rounds heading into turn 1. Everybody's still single file behind him. Rounds gets a great run off of turn number 2. And caution comes out once again behind us.
Trying to see who it's on.
Looks like Clay Devon got into the outside retaining wall. Trevor Fitz goes around into turn 1, and Randall Carter gets flipped on his lid into turn 1. So Carter in the 37 car, that's going to end his night.
Still 3 laps to go. We just can't seem to get these last 3 laps in.
It does seem a little difficult to do that. Still seeing a lot of great racing action. A long green flag run in the middle of the race. Modifieds are always pretty much guaranteed to give you a good green flag run in the middle of the race when we come to anything that's longer than linear in the iRacing service. Just gotta finish this thing out strong here. Dylan Wilson, I know his nerves are tore up. That's 3 restarts here with less than 10 laps to go. He's had to go through, and on 2 out of 3 of them, he's had Zach Rounds there ready to pounce on any mistake that he makes out of the 80 car. Dylan Hauser, he's hoping for these top 2 to take each other out and get that race lead, as well as Leverstein and Graham back behind him. All right, well, pace truck entering into turn number 3. The field is stacked up, single file, serpentining on the top of the racetrack. Dylan Wilson in the 80 car brings him up to a rolling speed. And Rounds gets into the back of him. Dylan Wilson now, green flag is out.
Mayhem in the back.
And caution, once again, oh, Weaver's involved. Oh, it's just a parking lot on the front stretch. I don't understand what these guys don't get about the leader dictates to restart. Seems like a pretty easy concept to get grasp a hold of.
Yeah, it looks like the 777 was already on the inside of the 3rd place spot and had to checked up, and everybody else behind just kind of got collected.
Yeah, that pretty much takes him out of contention for the race win. Everybody's still going to have to catch up to the pace truck, who is all the way over here in turn number 2 now. And just on board with a couple of drivers going through that last incident. So enjoy those views out there. So, shall we do this again, Tommy?
Oh, maybe the, what is this, the 4th or 5th time? Maybe that's a charm. Let's see if we can't get this last 3 laps in. Dylan Wilson, I know he's tired of this, and Zach Rounds, he's got to be chomping at the bits. Just give me a shot.
Yeah, he wants to get it down to 1 to go, and he wants to try and perfect scenario for him to try and exchange sliders with him on the last lap. If he throws a slider in 1, Wilson's going to have to throw it in 3. And if that's the case, you know, generally, I'd say 7 times out of 10, whoever's on the high side when entering normally comes out the victor out of the turn. So, going to see how it all unfolds here. Lights are off the pace truck one more time. 3 laps still remain. Dylan Wilson, still our race leader, and Zach Rounds still in that second position.
Pace truck getting ready to pull in one more time. Let's see if we can't get it finished.
And there we go, a good, clean start from the rest of the field. Green flag is out for Dylan Wilson. 3 more times around the Knoxville Raceway here, half mile. So 1.5 miles to go. Now down to backstretch. Rounds is caught back up with him. Just about a car length separates our top 2 competitors as they're into 3 and 4. Coming to 2 to go out of turn number 4.
Yeah, 2 laps to go this time by Zach Rounds. He gets a little loose, and here comes Dylan Hauser. He's going to go on the inside of Zach Rounds for the second spot. Caution is out on the speedway once again.
Yeah,
Trevor Fitz upside down.
Yeah, let's see what happened here. Oh, he's already missing some body panels there. Weaver gets into him and cleans his clock. Howard's clock gets cleaned as well. He's missing the whole front half of his car now, and Fitz ends up on to his driver's side on the front stretch. So 2 laps to go. We at least got one of them clicked off.
Yeah, Weaver's had an eventful night for sure. Front to the back, to the front to the back, and in the back again with an unfortunate incident, hitting 28 car and getting him upside down. Weaver, the last car on the lead lap right now.
And
he's going to pull it into the pits.
And pretty soon, Evan's going to have to make a decision on whether or not to keep this rolling on. We've been on 3 to go for probably about the last 20 caution laps, so...
I actually believe we completed a lap that time. We actually have 2 to go this time, Wes.
Yeah, we do, but I'm saying we over the last 5 or 6 cautions, we've had 3 to go. Now finally get a lap clicked off, 2 to go. I think it's going to be
green white checker time here.
Pretty much. However it goes. Throw the elbows up. Let's call some drama.
I'm down.
All right, for yet another time, Pace Truck has the lights off of the safety vehicle there. Dylan Wilson going to lead them single file to the green flag with 2 laps to go. Again, Zach Rounds in that second position. Definitely got a fast car. But Dylan Wilson goes before the Pace Truck even comes off of the racing surface. Green flag back out.
Yeah, very early start for Dylan Wilson with Zach Rounds. He was right there, really ready to go, and Rounds is right there. See if he can make something happen.
All right, into 3 and 4 for the penultimate time. Wilson still on the high side. Hauser now putting pressure on Rounds. Almost got into the back of him. White flag is out here at Knoxville. Wilson into turn 1 to 16. Can't get that back in, turned around.
Rounds was wall riding.
Yep, sure was wall riding. Here comes Hauser. He's going to send it in there on the berm. Battle for the race lead. Rounds not going to be able to get there. Dylan Wilson takes home the checker flag.
What a race finish. Dylan Hauser trying to throw it in there and make something happen. Almost 3 wide for the win. What a drive by Dylan Wilson.
And he finally puts it away here. Almost led every single lap tonight, but the 80 car still gets the big prize at the end of the day. Zach Rounds finishes in second and is going to be our Burberry Hard Charger Award winner, up 15 positions from 17th to 2nd. Dylan Hauser, Virgil Graham, Jeremy Capron, Garrett Naberge, Kyle Miller, Kendall Tucker, Blake Brown, and Jacob Fields our top 10. Jacob Leverstein, Clay Debin, Howard Weaver, Lucas Chowning, Rocky Battenfield round out our top 15, and the cars left on the lead lap. Randy Crowder, Dalton Connor, John Littrell, Trevor Fitz, and Randall Carter, your top 20. And Jason Minat, David Heileman, Kyle Morris, and Tommy Dutcher, our 24-car field. So let's see if we have our remaining podium up here. We found at least the one guy. Doesn't look like. Yeah, it doesn't look like the other two are in here quite just yet. There's one of them. Hold on one second. Let's see if our other guy gets in here. Yeah, everybody's in here. So let's go ahead and we're going to talk at our third place finisher, the 14 tonight of Dylan Hauser. You got a copy, bud?
Yes, I do.
A fast car all night. A good battle between you and about 6 other cars there on that long green flag run. Tell us how it was out there, bud.
Oh yeah, man. I feel like we had one of the fastest cars out there tonight. Me and Virgil Graham, I ran 4th place for half the race probably. And I felt like he finally made a mistake, and I got by him. And after that, Wilson was 4 seconds ahead of me, and I caught him down to 1.8, and then we got a yellow. And I honestly feel that caution didn't come when I was reeling them guys in. We would have had something for him, but with them cautions, the track just got so rough, and it got rougher and rougher and rougher, and my stuff just wasn't good in the rough. And it cost me at that spring fling race too. When it got real rough like that, I was leading it, and I just can't drive in the rough. I mean, it's almost impossible for me.
I would say, but sorry.
I mean, those guys drove. Dylan Wilson, the best guy on the cushion, probably. Zach Rounds, another awesome driver. Both of them, they're Class A drivers, and the guys behind me were Virgil Graham, one of the best. So we beat some good cars tonight, and to back it up with a win last week and a third this week, we're happy.
Yeah, got to say, you probably, I don't know if you have them or not, but you're probably really thankful that you don't have any kind of motion on your sim rig right now.
Yeah, I'd probably be puking.
I mean, that thing was tore from the floor up. I mean, that rear suspension definitely going to need an overhaul after this race.
Yeah, I need to get Dylan Wilson shot guy on my stuff and Zach's. I mean, their stuff was so good through the bumps on the straightaways, and I mean, I gave it my all that last corner. I drove it down to the bottom, balls deep, but I didn't want to take nobody out. I'm not in the points lead. Them guys are racing for points and stuff, so I just kind of held my own and let them guys do their thing.
Well, we've only got 2 races left in the rest of the season. So you think you got a shot at taking home at least one of those checkered flags in the upcoming weeks?
I want to take on both of them. I'm not in the points. I'm here to win. You know what I mean? I feel like we could have won tonight. Track didn't get rough like it did. But next week, I don't even know where it's at, but we'll be turning laps, getting geared up for next week, ready to go. All
right, 10-4. We got any thank yous, any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go?
The whole D12 team, Austin Carr, I mean, the guys at UDSRA, they helped me a little bit. And it's mainly a big team I work with, and without them guys, I would be nowhere near possible where I'm at in this high racing.
All right. Well, congratulations on another podium finish
thank
here.
You guys. Thank you guys, too, for the awesome broadcast week in, week out. And us sim racers really do appreciate it. Honestly, I probably wouldn't run the league without a broadcast. It's really cool to makes us sim racers feel welcome.
Well, thanks, bud. That's very kind words from you.
Thank you, guys.
All right. That was third place. Dylan Wilson now. Dylan Hauser. Sorry. Now we're going to bring in second place finisher, the 16-car Burberry Designs Hard Charger Award winner. What were you tonight? The 16 of Zach Rounds. How you doing tonight, bud?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, doing pretty good. You had just an incredible drive through the field tonight. Had to make it through the B main, but I mean, a runner-up finish there at the end. You think without all them cautions, you might have had a shot at Dylan there?
Oh yeah. Backtrack from that heat race. It kind of put me behind the 8 ball big time. I was hoping to, get first or second in there and start towards the front there. But I had to start in the opposite, and that whole half of the race, the first half there, that long green run, I was just kind of stuck when it turned all single file there, and luckily I was, I don't know, 5-6 car lengths behind the guy, that big group in front of me, and they messed up a couple times, and I was able to take advantage of that. And then yeah, the track again came to me towards the end. But I think it was just those bumps were gnarly. It was just more holding on than uh, than being able to drive smooth. But yeah, I passed him once. I had a slider going on him, and then the caution came out and I gave it back to him. But yeah, with only 2 or 3 laps to go, is virtually impossible because it took a lap to catch back up. You know, he got a little jump on the start, and take a lap to catch up, and then I would have had to take a couple laps to kind of set him up good. But yeah, I think he even knows I was a little bit quicker there, but I think I had 2 chances at it, but those cautions just killed me. So unfortunately, I would have loved to win Sweet VLR this week. That would have been pretty cool. Well, I didn't win I don't race the sprints, but mods and the late models. But hey, can't complain about going from 17th to 2nd either. So
Yeah, definitely cannot. I mean, an impressive drive. Just sitting there at that final, when we got down to 3 laps. I mean, tell us how it is at the driver's seat. Is anticipation killing you? Are you sitting there trying to gauge what Wilson's doing? What's going through your head when we get down to that many laps to go and, caution after caution just keeps coming out?
yeah, it kind of kills the mojo. I'm gonna steal that line from a guy in my Twitch stream right now. Killed my mojo a little bit. The caution. You just start. All right, let's finish this thing out, and then a caution would come out. Down the back straightaway or whatever. And yeah, so it was really hard to get a rhythm back going. But yeah, so we're just kind of sitting there and like, I know us top 3 or 4 were just like, let's get this last few laps and. But yeah, it made it. It was really off. Just made it. The last 3 laps just kind of off, like, and no one was in a rhythm. Everyone was just kind of making it, trying to get it through the bumps, and yeah, the starts were, I hated the 2nd place is like the worst place to start too, because Wilson was obviously trying to get a little bit of a jump, so he was starting at different points every single restart there, and I kind of had to try to gauge that the best I could, and like I said, it'd take me a lap to catch back up to him, and. Yeah, so it was just kind of hectic. Like I said, I'm a lot better when you get a good green flag run in, and that didn't happen towards the end. So, yeah.
Well, 2nd place still nothing to shake a stick at. You got any thank yous, any shout outs you want to give before we let you go here?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone hanging out on my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Fank. I'd like to thank Water Truck Productions. Drew does a hell of a job with all of our write-ups and our paints and all the videos that you guys see on VLR that Elite 7 puts on. Those are all from Drew. The whole Elite 7 crew, a great group of guys to run with and hang out with in and out of the races. I'd like to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast, and VLR for being able to put all this together every week.
All right, 10-4, bub. Congratulations again. Runner-up tonight, Zach Rounds. And now we're going to bring in our race winner. For the 4th time this season, checkered flag goes to the number 80 car of Dylan Wilson. You got a copy there, bud?
Yeah, I do.
And another dominating performance out of the 80 car tonight. Just tell us, man, what's your secret?
I don't know about dominating that race. I had somebody challenging me the whole race. I just was a little lucky there, I think, because we could start up front. Our setup isn't good over the bumps, and the rougher that track got, the worse it seemed like we got. So, I mean, I think everybody struggled with that. Zach seemed to have the best setup for those track states. So, I don't know. We kind of limped it home to the win, and we'll take it, and hopefully next week we don't get such a rough track.
Yeah, well, only 2 races left to run this season. This win definitely helps you in the championship point standings. Coming into the race, Howard Weaver was leading by 4 points. You're definitely going to leapfrog him heading into the final 2 weeks of the season. So, what's the game plan heading into these last couple of races?
Just take it 1 lap at a time. Qualify well, transfer through the heat, and just don't overdrive it. Wherever you're at, just minimize the bad nights, and then take nights like this when you get them.
All right, well, I mean, still a great win, hard-fought win there towards the end. Couldn't exactly seem to get past 3 to go for quite a while there. I asked Zach the same question. I mean, what's going through your mind when a situation like that comes up?
Honestly, I was so close on fuel. If we'd have ran another lap, I would have been out of fuel there. So every time we would run half a lap and get a caution, I just would sigh. I was like, well, if I run out, I run out. I probably won't be the only one.
Yeah, saw you on one of those getting ready to line back up. I think it was still we were 2x2 when you kind of backed off quite a bit off of the pace truck. So was that a little bit of a fuel saving thing right there?
Yeah, as soon as the yellow would fly, I would just hit the clutch and just coast as far as I could, just to try to save as much fuel. I know I couldn't have been the only one that was close. So, like I said, if we would have went one more lap there, green, I would have ran out. So I'm glad it ended when it did.
Well, once again, like I said, you pretty much just about done everything but solidified the most wins this season in the mods for Team VLR. Leading the points going into the last 2 weeks. Pretty gonna have a couple of point buffer there. So, congratulations once again on your race win. You got any thank yous and shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, thanks for VLR for putting this deal on, and for the love of God, no more overcast skies for races. And thank you guys for broadcasting and everybody for watching. I know that was a tough one. And thank D1RT, Trevor, Clay, Rocket, everybody over there. It's in TeamSpeak right now. And yeah, thanks Zach for running me clean there at the end. He could have definitely thrown some haymakers, but he kept it clean, so it was fun.
All right, 10-4, bud. Well, we'll see you the next 2 weeks, and good luck to you on finishing out the season. And that's the 80 car of Dylan Wilson. Now, Tommy, you got anything to add to the end of the broadcast here?
Oh, not really, man. It was a pretty good night of racing. It was a lot of beating and banging, and congratulations to Dylan Wilson on a hard-fought victory. He fought all night for that victory between him and Leverstein, and then right there at the end with Zach Brown. So it was really a good race overall. Track conditions were a little bit rough, but hey, what a good way to end the night.
Yeah, and he also takes over the all-time UMP modified win total over Howard Weaver, breaks that tie and gives him 6 wins so far in his career here at Team VLR. Of course, got to thank our sponsors once again before we get out of here. Got to thank X.CELERATED, WR1 Sim Chassis, Team Friday Chassis Consultants, Burberry Designs, the Kenny Wallace Dirt Racing Experience, as well as a couple of our affiliates, STLRacing.com, Capron Screen Printing, World of Dirt, the Dirt Racing Connection, RacingJunk.com Classifieds, and the Magnolia Motor Speedway. So for Tommy, Dylan, and myself, we are OCTV. We would like to thank y'all for watching. We will see y'all again Sunday night for some sprint car action live on the Dirt Collective.